Hello, everyone, and welcome to Firm. Yours truly, Mark Merrill, with a different type of opening and an introduction with our topic on MaineCare, Somalis, and our state. We're in big trouble, folks, and the nation needs to know about it. What happens when state government leaders take existing laws and corrupt them and coerce outside business entities like the mainstream or legacy media? All kinds of bad things happen. But mostly in Maine here, those things or events or violent acts get innocent people and children killed. That's what happens. The influx of the Somali population here is not all their fault. There are good ones that have come here long prior to Janet Mills becoming governor. But for listening to the left-wing radical Democrats, they're desperate people also. Not the good law-abiding ones who want to learn English if they don't already speak it, and confide and obey the laws of the Constitution of the United States, including Maine. But they're desperate. The other ones coming to our country and are promised free housing, free food stamps, new clothes, new schools, and freedom to overstep their Muslim beliefs onto us, while the rest of us, Maine citizens, on fixed incomes mostly, but there's a lot, folks. We have quite the elderly population of 1.4 million here. Maine citizens of certain incomes lose their food stamp benefits because of the deflectocrats. Social Security insurance or supplements, and housing, and low rent, Section 8 or HUD to the Somalis also. Why? Because the coercion by the Maine Democrat Party is power and control and forcing our society and culture to bow to poor third world people, less fortunate than us Americans born here. Boo-hoo cry. Grow up. You come here as an out-of-towner, an illegal, or from a foreign country, and you want a new life, then you obey our laws. Not according to the Democrats. Believe it or not, American citizens, that's all it is with them, the Democrats. Power and control, and no care for others except themselves. Mark Merrill for Firm. As we move on, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a lot of things to get to here, but first of all, we're going to start with a Somali lady who got to throw her weight around not that long ago. I don't know if you remember Deka Dalak. We're about to show you the past on her. At the same time, what's going to happen to her in the future if it hasn't already happened? But what you see here is a small picture of her. We'll get a bigger one. She formerly represented House District 120 in the Maine legislature under the Appropriations and Financial Affairs Committee in South Portland. She was serving her second term in the House representing that area. And in 2021, about 5 years ago now, more than 30 years after first coming here to flee civil war in Somalia, surprise, surprise, as I was just telling you in our introduction, she became the first Somali American mayor in the country, co-founder of the Cross-Cultural Community Services, and formerly worked as the Assistant Executive Director at Gateway Community Services in Portland. More recently, in 2024, she sponsored legislation that helped establish the Office of New Americans within state government. Who started that? Really, folks? Want to know the answer to that? Who started that? Did I have to tell you? Really? She also served, Ms. Delac, on the boards of the Mercy Hospital in Portland and the I'm Your Neighbor books. Served on the Somali Community Center Maine Advisory Committee and the Department of Health and Human Services, DHHS Office of Population Health. Well, now I wonder why she was put there. Population health? Hell no. Now, going back 17, 18 years here, folks, 2008. Here's one for you. Ms. DeLocke has lived in the west end of South Portland, where she raised her 3 children and all attended South Portland Public Schools. Now, this is really not going to be a walk in the park, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Ms. DeLocke, because we do our research here at Firm. The more recent information on her is the following. The Maine Morning Star, as of, we'll say, August 10th, but originally published here, talked about Ms. DeLocke as Maine leaders of color say Ms. DeLocke's exit reflects broader pattern of racism and scrutiny. She felt ostracized and as an outsider. This article was published by Maine Morning Star originally back in February of 2026. But after going through the original information we just presented, folks, Ms. DeLocke's decision to step aside now from the Appropriations and Financial Affairs Committee underscores a heightened scrutiny, harassment, and safety concerns faced by elected officials of color, one of the country's whitest states. So, there's a lot of others besides Maine, rural states. While hostile rhetoric around immigration is increasing across the country, according to the Morning Star article, black elected leaders and anti-racist advocates told the publication, the Morning Star, that the charged political climate has made public service more isolating and dangerous for some leaders, prompting some to step away from elected office altogether. Aw, poor babies. Stop playing the race card, Ms. DeLocke. Another one thrown into the realm and the debacle and the boiling kettle, what they call harassment in the state of Maine since coming here, is a Pius Ali, Maine's first African-born American elected official who had been in office in Portland since 2013, had known Ms. DeLocke for decades. He says nobody should pay the price for privacy or safety to serve the community they love. Baloney. While Maine's population has been diversifying, 93% of the state of Maine is white, according to the 2024 census. It means the few elected officials of color have to face additional scrutiny, according to Shea Stewart Booley, an anti-racism activist and writer in southern Maine who previously served on Portland's Charter Commission. Well, what do you know, a ray of light. While there are a lot of white people in Maine, she said, Maine who mostly certainly are appreciative and embrace the diversity that's happened over the last 2 decades, there are a lot of people who are not. And, she continues, given our current, reality, we have to ask ourselves, what are we doing to protect our people, to protect our mental health and emotional health when they run for office? Ms. DeLocke recently joined Asafia Khalid. Back in 2019, she was the first Somali American to be elected to the City Council of Lewiston. They both joined together to speak out against Donald Trump's anti-Somali rhetoric, writing an open letter to him in December 2025, most recently, 7 months ago, along with 2 other Somali American lawmakers, Representatives Mana Abdi from Lewiston and Yusuf from Portland. Maine is stronger when we stand together, they said. Reject dehumanization and insist on a future rooted in safety, fairness, and shared belonging. Well, they certainly haven't. Stuart Booley said many elected leaders in Maine have long experienced harassment in some form, but the political climate today has made running for office even seem particularly unwelcome. Haha, right. Whose fault is that? Finishing up on this article here, folks. Ms. DeLocke responded in a statement saying that she worked for Gateway for less than a year and had no involvement in the company's billing practices. That's because the money was being diverted, folks. Maine House of Representatives Speaker Ryan Fecteau said while all allegations of fraud must be treated seriously, we must avoid generalizations against entire groups of people, in this case, Mainers who have immigrated from Somalia. Huh? He said it's not only wrong but dangerous to do so. Hatred directed at this community based on the wrongdoing of another is plainly wrong. Is that right? Well, you know what, Mr. Fecteau? You're wrong. Totally wrong. So that's the deal on Miss DeLocke, folks. Plain and simple. So our program continues, folks, on MaineCare, Somalis, and our state. Even if we're going to exist someday, I don't know. We'll have to see. Next on the agenda, folks, our least favorite governor of all time. What can we say? Janet Mills. Isn't that wonderful? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Our least favorite governor ever. Jeez. Why? Here's some good reasons. According to Firm, we posted this, folks, not long ago, July 16th. And we did this segment from the Hall of Flags in Augusta, around the corner from Janet Mills' office, who, of course, was not in. She's never in, they say. Secretaries as well as appointed press persons. Yuck. You kidding me? National Guard action, Ms. Mills? Do we need to bring in the federal government to bring in federal Guard troops? No government leadership in Maine, especially after an attack on John Featherston of the Maine Wire. Cute, real cute behavior and uncivilized abuse of a dignified and respected news journalist, meaning Mr. Featherston. Firm condemns and officially goes on public record. This was back on July 16th, folks. Biddeford, Lewiston, Bangor, and Portland City Council and government leaders' ignorance of First Amendment and U.S. constitutional freedom of the press is now on your consciences. We the people label you as terrorist groups that need action by the governor of the state of Maine, and if not, by her, if she refuses to do anything, then a call and demand for federal National Guard troops to take over control of our cities and streets is in order. Anyone got a problem with this demand on our rights and freedoms in this state, this country, this President of the United States of America? We've contacted Anna Parker, press secretary at the time. Never got an answer back. Crap. Now, as we move on here, folks, and give you a better look at our information, as you can see here plainly. Our car is always around Central Maine. We the people, Fairness in Reporting Media, and fairnessinreportingmedia@gmail.com, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's even on our car, 24/7. More recently, folks, August 6th of this year, the Maine Wire posted this with a picture of John Featherston greeting Dr. Mehmet Oz as he physically came to the state of Maine to see what was going on with all of the MaineCare fraud. He wrote, the Mills administration has announced it has suspended payments to 5 MaineCare providers, terminated additional providers, and taken enforcement action against dozens of agencies. The announcement comes 2 days after Dr. Oz visited Maine to meet with former Governor Paul LePage and John Featherston of the Maine Wire to discuss alleged fraud in the state's Medicaid-funded home care system. Can't wait to hear from that one, folks. And lastly, folks, this post from yours truly. Back on July 30th, we thought it was appropriate to write something down that sounds hopeful for our lives into the future, especially in November. As for the difference between truth and proven facts, including common sense, knowledge, how about this viewpoint? Since before 2008 and moving forward to 2018, our organization, FIRM, has noticed that the only consistency of the political spectrum that's worth stating and emphasizing is the Democratic political party keeps begging the general American population centers to notice changes, quote unquote, are better than the old-fashioned routine of go to school, go to work, earn a living, get married, have a family, and retire and enjoy the fruits of our labor and pass along good morals and values to our children to continue the Declaration of Independence's pursuit of life in this republic, along with liberty, freedoms, and rights, and during those periods create a sense of happiness. Why then do certain people, since the revelation of social media outlets and special rights organizations, pressure the general American population to make changes? Well, FIRM ends this particular query for United States citizens to conclude that why make changes when this republic has functioned so well for 250 years now under the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and Declaration of Independence? Huh? How come? Let's be considerate, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, of each other in our country, and proceed with a steady pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. And if change is necessary, there's always discussions to take place, and you can vote instead of being violent. But if life in America stays the same from coast to coast, why change what's worked for 250 years once again? Meantime, folks, peace and blessings to all in your personal pursuit of happiness and to those who keep seeking that mindset. Thank you for joining us on FIRM. We are Fairness in Reporting Media. You can contact us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right here. fairnessinreportingmedia@gmail.com, fairnessinreportingmedia@gmail.com. We are on YouTube, X, and our website is substack.com at MarkFirmNews1. Substack.com at MarkFirmNews1. Everyone stay safe. Peace to all.